I just want to bring to your attention some of these foods and talk about some alternatives, and just so you know, because I think what happens with brain health specifically is that we get to this place where we don't feel like our brain's working as well as we'd like it to, but we don't understand why. And unfortunately, we walk into our doctor's office and our doctors aren't trained in lifestyle, nor do many doctors right now have time to sit down and educate you on lifestyle. And so we don't make that correlation between what we're eating and how our brain is functioning.
Meet Dr. Mindy Pelz, a leading expert in nutrition and functional health with over 20 years of experience. She's a best-selling author and respected figure in alternative health who has helped thousands reclaim their health through proper nutrition. As a passionate advocate for women's health, she empowers women to harness their body's natural healing abilities. In this video, Dr. Mindy Pelz will expose the 6 worst foods that contribute to dementia. These foods disrupt brain function, impacting decision-making, emotions, and overall body health. But that's not all. Dr. Pelz will also share healthier alternatives to these dementia-contributing foods to boost brain health. So stay tuned to the end so don't miss any vital information. Before we begin on the foods to avoid, did you know that dementia affects nearly 55 million people across the world, a number that's expected to double by 2050? Dementia is a broad term describing the loss of memory, thinking skills, and decision-making abilities, all of which affect daily life. This cognitive decline isn't just a natural part of aging. Diet plays a major role. The brain needs proper nutrients, and consistently eating unhealthy foods can increase the risk of dementia. Therefore, understanding which foods are most harmful empowers us to make better choices for brain health and potentially reduce the risk of this devastating condition. So without further ado, let's dive right into the 6 worst foods that cause dementia. The first dementia-causing food on Dr. Pelz's list is ultra-processed foods. Did you know that ultra-processed foods like potato chips, pizza, hot dogs, and soda pose a serious risk to brain health? While they might be convenient, these foods are packed with preservatives, artificial colors, stabilizers, and additives that can harm the brain more than you might think. Unlike whole foods, ultra-processed options are so heavily altered that they offer little to no beneficial nutrients for brain function. Listen carefully to what Dr. Pelz has to say about it.
If you eat the standard diet of 2,000 calories a day, just 400 of those calories coming from processed foods. So that is about a slice and a half of pizza, and you would increase your risk of dementia by 28% from one slice and a half of pizza. Every single day, you increase your chance of dementia by 28%.
Research in the Food Research International reveals that ultra-processed foods can directly harm the brain by promoting inflammation. When inflammation persists over time, it can damage neurons and nerve cells in the brain, gradually impairing memory and slowing down mental processing. In another study by the National Institute of Health, people who consumed more ultra-processed foods showered a 28% faster decline in global cognitive function, which affects memory, focus, and understanding. Here's the catch. The risk of consuming ultra-processed foods lies not only in their lack of essential nutrients, but also in their high levels of toxins that can strain the brain. These foods contain components that impair blood flow to the brain, damage blood vessels, and disrupt brain signals. Additionally, certain additives and chemicals found in these products can interfere with hormonal balance, potentially accelerating cognitive decline and increasing the risk of dementia. Before we continue, please note that this content is for informational purposes only and is not intended to replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet or taking new supplements. The next dementia-causing food that Dr. Pelz discusses is refined sugar.
Refined sugar. There's no nutritional value in sugar. It tastes good, but what's happening is it's creating this dopamine spike. And the dopamine spike will, as long as dopamine's going up and down, dopamine is the molecule of more. It's not the molecule of enough. So every time you get a dopamine spike, then your brain goes, I want more of that. And then it just keeps leading you down a path of more, which is why refined sugars are so addictive.
Refined sugar is not just a sweet treat. It's one of the most harmful foods for brain health, especially when consumed frequently. Found in sodas, candies, and snacks, refined sugar's effects on the brain are anything but pleasant. Unlike the natural sugars found in fruits, refined sugar has lost all its beneficial nutrients, resulting in a substance that merely causes spikes in blood sugar and insulin levels. Regularly consuming high amounts of refined sugar can lead to insulin resistance, a condition that negatively affects the entire body, including the brain. According to a comprehensive study, insulin resistance can impair memory by affecting the hippocampus, which is an important brain region for learning and memory. High blood sugar levels can also trigger inflammation in the brain, damaging cells over time, and potentially accelerating cognitive decline. Another danger of consuming refined sugar lies in its potential to shrink the brain, as research indicates that diets high in added sugar increase the risk of developing dementia by up to 4 times. This makes refined sugar completely bad for overall brain health. Before we continue, if you're looking to dive deeper into how diet can protect your brain health and boost your overall health, be sure to subscribe to the QuickTime newsletter linked below. Each week, we share expert-backed tips, delicious recipes, and actionable steps to help you live longer and feel your best, delivered right to your inbox. The next food on Dr. Pelz's list of dementia-causing foods are bad oils. Are you aware that many everyday foods like fried snacks, margarine, and processed oils contain unhealthy oils that are high in trans fats and certain omega-6 fatty acids? These fats may enhance flavor, but they can also harm brain health. This is because they promote inflammation in the body and brain, increasing the risk of cognitive decline and dementia.
Think about like an ankle sprain. When you sprain your ankle, you can't really walk on it very well and it swells up. Your brain is literally swelling every time you're eating bad oils. It's like, and how could you think right? The brain's job is to coordinate everything in the body. It's to give you great mental clarity, but you're not gonna think right if you're eating these inflammatory oils. And unfortunately, every time you go out to eat, you're gonna get exposed to these inflammatory oils, which causing your brain to swell and for you not to focus and to struggle. So that's not good.
The primary concern with bad oils is their high content of trans fats and excessive omega-6 fatty acids. These unhealthy components can interfere with the structure and function of brain cells, leading to potential cognitive issues. According to research, trans fat can damage the brain by hardening cell membranes, making it hard for neurons to communicate effectively. This hinders cognitive functions like memory and decision-making over time, and consistent consumption of these fats can lead to faster mental decline as you age. Another study indicates that a diet high in unhealthy oils can restrict blood flow to the brain by clogging blood vessels, which further increases the risk of dementia. Over time, regularly consuming unhealthy oils not only boosts inflammation, but also elevates bad cholesterol levels. This increase in cholesterol can lead to plaque buildup in the brain, which is associated with dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Dr. Pelz indicates alcohol as another dementia-causing food that should be avoided. Here's her take on it.
It is. It's a toxin to the brain, and it affects blood flow to the brain. And when you're not getting a lot of blood flow to the brain, you're also, threatening brain cells.
As Dr. Pelz mentioned, alcohol can have a devastating effect on your brain health, especially when consumed frequently. Here's the catch. In the short term, it may lead to poor judgment and delayed reactions, but the long-term effects are far more alarming. As time goes on, alcohol can alter the brain's structure and function, potentially leading to serious cognitive issues and memory problems. In fact, a study has found a link between alcohol use and the shrinking of the brain, especially in areas involved in memory and learning. Here's how it works. Alcohol affects the brain in a complicated way as it disrupts neurotransmitters, which are chemicals that help brain cells communicate. Long-term alcohol use can throw off the balance of these chemicals, making it harder for brain cells to connect and leading to problems with thinking and memory. Alcohol also triggers inflammation in the brain and reduces the brain's gray matter, which is essential for processing information. Gradually, these effects can contribute to dementia, and research suggests that heavy drinking may raise the risk of developing dementia compared to those who do not drink. Another concerning effect of alcohol on the brain is its ability to damage the blood-brain barrier, which is a protective layer that keeps harmful substances out. When this barrier is weakened, the brain becomes vulnerable to toxins and inflammation, increasing the risk of cognitive decline, especially dementia. Refined flour is the next dementia-causing food that Dr. Pelz identifies. Let's find out why.
What we know is that if it's been highly refined, the actual process of making that refined flour took all the nutrients out. So it's nutrient debt. Think about that for a moment. Like literally your sandwich you're eating or the bread you're having in the morning that's like that traditional refined flour, it has no nutrients in it. It's not gonna do anything for your brain.
Refined flour is a common ingredient in many everyday foods, such as bread, pasta, pastries, and snacks. However, it poses hidden risks to brain health. During its production, refined flour is stripped of fiber, vitamins, and other essential nutrients. As a result, it becomes a carbohydrate that quickly breaks down into sugar, leading to spikes in blood sugar levels. According to the Alzheimer's Association, chronic blood sugar spikes can damage the brain cells and lead to cognitive decline. One major issue with refined flour is its high glycemic index. Foods with a high glycemic index cause blood sugar levels to rise quickly, which triggers a surge of insulin to stabilize them. However, consistently high insulin levels can lead to insulin resistance, a condition that prevents cells from effectively using glucose for energy. Similarly, insulin resistance in the brain has been shown to disrupt cognitive processes, potentially leading to what is known as type 3 diabetes, which is closely linked to Alzheimer's disease. Refined flour products also tend to increase inflammation in both the body and brain. Since inflammation is a major risk factor for chronic diseases, including dementia, it damages neurons, reducing the brain's ability to send signals efficiently. Over time, this inflammation can harm memory, judgment, and mood stability, creating conditions that make dementia more likely to develop. Next, on Dr. Pelz's list of foods that can increase the risk of dementia are ingredients that often seem harmless, but can be just as harmful to brain health: natural flavors.
So we want to start to avoid things that say natural flavors in them. Now, a couple other artificial ingredients I really encourage you to look out for are things that are like, artificial dyes, like red dye number 3 and red dye number 4. Those are going to be toxic. They're neurotoxins for the brain, and you want to avoid them. So if you're not reading an ingredient list, make sure you're reading an ingredient list.
Natural flavors are widely used in processed foods to enhance taste and appearance. But while they may improve flavor, they can also negatively affect brain health. As Dr. Pelz rightly said, artificial dyes are major contributors to the risk of dementia. Many of these dyes contain compounds that can trigger inflammation, which is a major factor in the development of neurodegenerative diseases. As mentioned earlier, chronic brain inflammation disrupts the blood-brain barrier, allowing toxins to enter the brain and damage neuronal connections. Here's the concerning part. Many of these toxic additives are often misleadingly labeled as natural flavors to entice customers, but this comes at a cost to our health. They trigger oxidative stress and inflammation, which can accelerate neuronal damage and contribute to cognitive decline over time. For example, red dye 40, an artificial color made from petroleum, is often found in candies, sodas, snacks, cereals, and baked goods. However, this dye has been linked to symptoms of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, such as hyperactivity, and may cause other behavioral issues in children. Due to these health concerns, countries like the United Kingdom and Switzerland have banned red dye 40. Similarly, monosodium glutamate, or MSG, which is a flavor enhancer in many savory foods, has been linked to various health issues, including potential neurological damage. Research posted on Science Direct, the world's leading source for scientific research, suggests that high MSG intake can cause overstimulation and damage to neurons, a condition known as excitotoxicity. This process can harm cognitive functions and has been linked to Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Having examined the harmful effects of some of the foods we eat on our brains, let's turn our attention to strategies that can help reduce the risk of dementia and promote brain health by focusing on beneficial food choices. The first food that Dr. Pelz suggests is vegetables, and here's what she has to say about it.
Let's load up our diet with things like lots of vegetables. They're full of fiber. Fiber will help make sure that your glucose doesn't get too high.
Dr. Pelz indicates that incorporating a variety of vegetables into our diet is essential for brain health. Leafy greens like spinach, broccoli, and kale are super rich in vitamins, antioxidants, and minerals that help to combat oxidative stress and inflammation. In fact, studies have shown that higher vegetable intake is associated with a slower rate of cognitive decline. For instance, it has been proven that individuals who consume more than 5 servings of vegetables daily have a significantly reduced risk of developing dementia compared to those who eat fewer servings. The next food that Dr. Pelz advises us to incorporate into our diet is the keto diet. Let's find out why.
The keto diet is a healing diet. It will help you lose weight, it will help you lose body fat, it will bring your blood sugar down, and it will help dementia. So if you don't believe me, let me tell you a beautiful study, a 2022 study, found that the keto diet reduced brain inflammation and lowered the risk of neurodegenerative disease in aging people with the signs of early dementia.
The ketogenic diet, rich in healthy fats and low in toxins, has gained attention for its potential cognitive benefits. By promoting the production of ketones, an alternative energy source for the brain, the diet may enhance cognitive function and offer protection against neurodegenerative diseases. A study suggests that the keto diet can equally enhance mitochondrial function and reduce oxidative stress, which are 2 important factors for maintaining a healthy brain and lowering the risk of dementia. Proteins are the next brain-healthy food that Dr. Pelz identifies.
It needs protein because it needs to be able to have amino acids. Amino acids are really, really important for neurotransmitter production and hormone production.
High-quality proteins like lean meats, fish, beans, and nuts help keep the brain healthy by providing the building blocks needed to make brain chemicals. Fish, especially fatty types like salmon, mackerel, and sardines, are packed with omega-3s, which can reduce inflammation and improve the brain's ability to adapt and grow. Research by the National Institute of Health also indicates that higher consumption of proteins is linked to better cognitive performance and a lower risk of cognitive decline in older adults. Dr. Pelz highlights unprocessed carbohydrates as another superfood for the brain.
Is carbohydrates. Your brain needs carbohydrates.
Opting for whole, unprocessed carbohydrates like whole grains and legumes provides the brain with a steady source of glucose for energy without the spikes associated with refined carbs. These foods are also high in fiber, which supports gut health and has been linked to improved cognitive function. A study by the National Library of Medicine found that diets rich in whole grains were associated with reduced risk of cognitive impairment and dementia. Dr. Pelz also identifies good fats as one of the healthy foods that can prevent or reduce the risk of dementia.
So this is your avocados. These are your flaxseed. This is your MCT, your avocado oil. This is your olive oil. These are all great oils to help nourish.
As Dr. Pelz rightly mentioned, incorporating healthy fats, like those found in olive oils, avocados, and nuts, can significantly benefit brain health. These fats contain unsaturated fatty acids and omega-3s, which help reduce inflammation and support optimal brain function. Various studies equally suggest that a diet rich in healthy fats is associated with a lower risk of Alzheimer's disease and improved cognitive function in aging adults. Keeping your brain healthy starts with smart food choices. By avoiding harmful foods like ultra-processed items, bad oils, foods containing additives, and refined sugars, and choosing the nutritious options we've discussed so far, you can lower your risk of dementia and support clear thinking and memory for years to come. But aside from dementia-causing foods, there's a popular drink we often overlook that's now considered the leading cause of dementia worldwide. Click on the video showing your screen right now to discover what this drink is. as explained by Dr. Andrew Huberman. See you there.